Welcome to Tuesday's Tips and Tools, brought to you by the VSU Center for eLearning. Today, we are looking at the visibility and availability options in BlazeVIEW that can help you and your students set pacing and time management goals for your course. We will examine 4 BlazeVIEW features: content, assignments, quizzes, and discussions. In all 4 features, you can hide items, make them visible, set start dates, and set end dates. You can set due dates for content modules and topics, assignments, and quizzes. Discussion board topics do not have a due date option, but you can lock and unlock discussions. Let's take a deeper look at each of these options. Through the Hide and Make Visible option, you can control which course items students see. Hiding an item prevents students from seeing it anywhere in the course. Students cannot see a hidden item in their table of contents, assignment or quiz list, or discussion list. Hidden items also do not display on the course calendar. If an item is hidden, you will see this icon, an eye with a line through it. Hide content, quizzes, assignments, or discussions while you are making edits to that item. That way, students cannot simultaneously open the item and access information that may soon be outdated. Remember to make the item visible when you are finished editing so students know it exists in the course. If an item is made visible, you will see this icon, an open eye. Leaving items visible allows students to time manage for the amount of content and assessments your course contains. You can prevent students from opening items, submitting assignments and quizzes, and participating in discussion boards by utilizing the availability start and end date options, which we will discuss next. Availability start and end dates set the interaction window for content, quizzes, assignments, or discussions. These dates also specify when students are able to submit assignments and quizzes in your course. This icon signifies that an item has an availability date restriction attached to it. Set the availability start and end dates for the first and last dates, respectively. You would like students to be able to open and view the item. If a discussion is available, that means students can read or review any existing threads. In most cases, you do not want to add an availability end date to a discussion because it removes the ability for students to review threads. Instead, you would add a locking end date to stop additional posts from being added to the discussion topic. We'll look at locking dates soon. An availability start or end date on a module automatically adds that module to the course calendar. To check what is displayed on the course calendar, click on Course Home in BlazeVIEW and scroll to the Calendar widget. Use availability start and end dates to help students plan their asynchronous work so they can manage their time in your course. Before the availability start date and after the end date, students will not be able to open an item, but they can see that it exists. This differs from the Hide and Make Visible option that we just discussed. If an item is visible but not available yet, students will not be able to read the description or instructions for that item. Availability start and end dates on modules allows you to control the pace for your course while still providing transparency to your students. Students appreciate the option of an exhaustive view of what you expect them to complete for this semester. Another feature that you will see is the option to add a due date. This is only available for content, assignments, and quizzes. Discussion board topics do not have due dates. Due dates set the expectation for that content, quiz, or assignment in your course. The due date is what students tend to pay the most attention to. Set the due date and time of day for when you want students to be finished with an item. Placing a due date on an item automatically adds that item to the calendar. Use due dates in conjunction with availability start and end dates to help students stay on pace with the course. Remind them that the due date is not necessarily the do it date. Setting an availability start date communicates to students that they can and should begin work on an assignment, even if the due date is much later than the start date. Specifying a due date and time of day for an assignment or quiz allows you to see if a student submits late. Let's take a look at how to identify late submissions in BlazeVIEW. Select View Submissions from the Assignment menu to check and see if an assignment has been submitted late. I'm going to check on assignment number 1. View Submissions. And you can see that I do have one practice student, student 12 e-learning, that submitted an attachment to this assignment. And it shows me here that this student submitted the assignment 4 hours past the due date that I specified. If I wanted to adjust the individual due date for this student, I can click here on the key icon to adjust that individual due date. To check if a student has submitted late for a quiz, go to your quiz menu and use the drop-down option to select Grade. On this menu, you'll be able to see the attempts for all of the students who have submitted that quiz. Here in red text, we see that this student submitted late, less than an hour past the due date, but still past the due date that I specified for the assignment. If you wish to allow students to submit late, you can still use a due date, but just don't specify an end date on that assignment. That will prevent you from having to manage special access for specific users for each grade item that you're wanting students to be able to submit late. Discussions have a unique set of options that are often confused with availability dates. Locking and unlocking a discussion sets the dates for which the students can post within a discussion topic, as long as the discussion topic and its overarching forum is set to available. Students can view the topic and all threads it contains. If you wish to control the window of time students are permitted to converse within the discussion, that's when locking, start, and end dates are useful. Set the lock and unlock dates for the first and last dates, respectively, you would like students to be able to post in the discussion. You can select whether or not the locking start and end dates for a discussion display on the calendar. In a way, these dates serve as the due date for students to post and make comments. The lock date notifies students that they will no longer be able to post at that time. Just like availability start and end dates, displaying locking start and end dates helps students plan and manage their asynchronous work time in your course. When a discussion is locked, students will not be able to add any more posts to the discussion topic. Locking a discussion eliminates the need for an availability end date. Locking prevents students from contributing, but it still allows them to read the thread to review information that they may need later on in your course. Let's take a look at where to find these availability and visibility options in BlazeVIEW. Let's start in the content area. Here I have Module 1 set with a particular start date. Prior to this date, students can only see the list of contents within this module. They will not be able to click on any of these items that are here in blue text prior to the start date or after the end date of the module. They cannot open or access those content items. The module start date displays on the student's course calendar, so they are aware of when it's open. The icon here is where you can change the visibility of the module as a whole. This example Module 1 contains 3 activities: a discussion, a quiz, and an assignment. The discussion is set to be unlocked for a certain period of time and is always available. As long as the overarching forum is also available, students can view this discussion topic at any time. However, they can only post while this discussion is unlocked. So in this instance, students will be able to post, make comments to each other between Friday, January 29th and Tuesday, February 2nd. The quiz in this module is set with a start date, a due date, and no end date. This means that students cannot take the quiz until this availability start and time, but the due date is when you expect them to finish before the quiz is marked late. The assignment is set with a start, end, and due date. The end date is 4 hours after the due date, permitting students a small window of time to submit late. Prior to the start date, students cannot view any files you may have attached to the assignment. So for example, before the assignment is open or starting for them, they cannot open the Chapter 3 notes attachment that I have placed on this assignment. After the end date, those files are available for students to view, even if they haven't submitted the assignment. What about setting availability dates on grade items in the gradebook? Setting those availability start and end dates on grade items does prevent students from viewing their grades in the gradebook only. outside of that availability window. Students can still view their scores and any published feedback by accessing the individual assignment or quiz items through the assignment and quiz lists in BlazeVIEW. It's easier to just hide the grade items that you're wishing to remove from student view. But students can still find their grades on assignments that you have graded and submitted and published feedback for. Please contact the Center for eLearning if we can help you with anything we've covered in this video or for any other assistance as you develop your courses.